What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're debloating our Windows PC, and what's a better way to do it than running a PowerShell script? We'll remove unnecessary apps, get rid of Microsoft Edge, and tighten up privacy settings. So instead of watching me talk, let's switch up the view and get started. All right, guys, so here's the script. It is a pretty lengthy script, but it's definitely worth it. And before I go ahead and run it, what I will do is explain the script a little bit and show you guys how to remove things from it and add things to it. So to get started, the top here, this is pretty much just checking if you're running the script as an admin. And if you're not, it will relaunch with elevated privileges. Whenever you see a write host, this is pretty much just displaying a message for you in PowerShell. It's not necessary to have here, but it's nice to see what's happening while you're running the script. All right, so let's get started with number one. You will see a list of packages, and in this area here, if you feel like you need to keep a certain package, also known as applications, all you have to do is remove it from this list here. So for example, let's say I did not want to remove Notepad. Just remove it before you run the script. In my case, I'm keeping everything here, and also my Notepad, for example, my alternative is using Notepad++. So that's why I would remove an application like this. So if you see this list and you actually want to keep certain things from it, all you really have to do is just, again, remove it and then save your script. And I'll go ahead and actually cover also how to save the script and what you should save it as. There is a little bit of separation here with comments. This is just for viewing purposes, really. And also this list here is more of the system applications that are a little bit stubborn to remove and require forced removal. And then out of the box experience pretty much is just used for when you first set up your computer. So if your computer is already set up, you pretty much don't need this. Now, of course, if you feel iffy about any of these, you simply can just remove them, but that is really up to you guys. Now, before I move forward with the rest of the script, I will show you guys how to add packages to your list if you need to add anything else. And to do that, we will first go ahead and open PowerShell as an administrator. I'll put in my password here. And within PowerShell, we will run the git appx package for all users and then select name. And I'll maximize this first and then I'll hit enter. And that will give us a full list of packages that are installed on our computer. So I will minimize this once again, make it a little bit bigger just to kind of compare what I have here. Now, before you go ahead and just start adding packages to your script, don't add anything you're not familiar with. For example, if you see something like this, I have no idea what this is. I'm not going to add it. There are certain packages that are system packages that are required to make your computer run. So if you're not sure about what a package is, I would just leave it alone. So while I go through the list, if there's anything, for example, that I want to add, let's say I do have Paint here, but let's say I wanted to also remove MS Paint, Microsoft Paint. All you have to do is copy it and then paste it anywhere in your script. So we do need to start off by double quotation and then paste your package, close the double quotation, and then a comma. Now, if you were to add something at the very end here, for example, then you will need to add a comma and then add it here. And don't put a comma at the end. So going back to our list here, if there's anything that I have missed in this script here, all you really need to do is just copy it and then add it here. I'm not going to go forward with adding more things. I actually pulled this list based on my laptop. I didn't run it yet on this desktop. But if I do come across anything else that is worth adding, I'll go ahead and add it and provide that in the description. Now, before I close out of this, there is a way to also remove applications or packages from PowerShell. Now, it's tedious because if you're removing a dozen or more, then you will have to do this manually for each one. But I'll show you guys how to remove them anyways. So let's go ahead and actually choose one. For example, your phone, copy it, and then what we need to do is git appx package name, and then within here we're going to do double quotation and then paste our package, close it, and then we will do remove appx package all users. I'll go ahead and maximize this and then hit enter. And what would happen is it will most likely be removed. You will not see a confirmation. There is a way to see a confirmation. We would have to adjust this script a little bit, this code of line a little bit, just so we can get a confirmation whether it was removed or not by like a false or true. But if we run our line to get the list of packages once again, our phone or your phone was at the very end there. So I should not see it here anymore. As you can see, it's gone. It was, if we go back to the top, it was right here under Windows runtime, and then Windows runtime, and it's pretty much gone. So it is tedious if you were to do this for each one, because you'd have to either type it or go back to the line and then paste your other package. But you can definitely do it this way if you'd like to. All right, so going back to our script. Now let's scroll down a little bit here. The next thing is removing the standard packages and then force removal of system apps using DISM. Now, this one will pretty much remove the majority of applications, but then this will remove those stubborn system applications that you can't uninstall by yourself. And that's why I kind of broke them down here. What each one does is it does go through all of them and run it for this, and if it cannot remove the system applications, and then once it's done, it will go through this for each loop, and then it will go through the list again and then remove the ones that are stubborn. The next thing here, number 2, is removing and blocking Microsoft Edge. Now before I proceed, I just want to say that this will not 100% stop Microsoft Edge from coming back, but the hope is that it does not allow it to be installed again. Again, it's writing a message just displaying something in PowerShell. And then the first thing we're going to do is kill all Edge related processes. Now, you can do this manually. You can let the script do it as well for you. There is a chance that they may change up things like the name, for example, with Windows always updating. If you want to run this script, you can always just open up Task Manager and then look for anything related to Edge or Microsoft Edge. Which is a little bit hard to do here unless I do that, like Microsoft Edge update. Maybe there might be something that starts with an E. I'm not sure. You can actually do that as well manually from here before you run the script. But the script should take care of this part. For the most part, I'd hope so. Next is just the loop to remove all of these processes. So this is just a list of processes that could be running, and it stores them here, and then it runs through each one within this variable pretty much, and then it will end that process. And then after it ends the processes, it will just verify. The script will pretty much just verify if the processes are actually fully stopped before proceeding with the next steps. So this is what this line of code here does. And then again, it's just writing a message for you here. And then the next step is deleting Edge related folders. Now you can also do this manually. I did include a bunch of different things. There might not be any Edge folder in program files. It's usually under x86, but if you're running a 32-bit version of Windows, then it's possible that it could be here in 32 version and not the 64. But I included all of them here. Again, you can always go manually to the programs file and then look for anything related to Edge and delete it manually from there as well. And then it will loop. This pretty much just displays, it stores all these folders in a variable here, and an array variable. And then it will loop through each one and then delete the folders or attempt to delete them. Now, if that part fails for you, again, you can just go into program files, look for anything related to Edge, and then you can delete it yourself. You may not be able to if there's a process running, so you can also manually end processes related to Edge before deleting these folders. And then the next here is blocking Edge from reinstalling. So this is again displaying a message, and then we will block any updates via the registry, and then disable Edge update services, disable Edge update schedule tasks. So there's a few things here that we can do, or the script will do, so that it ensures that Edge does not come back. Again, I can't guarantee it. With feature updates, it's possible that Windows overrides all of these changes and installs Edge again, but that is not a problem. We can always delete it right after. I did miss this part as well, which is prevents an edge from being reinstalled with Windows updates. But again, like I mentioned, there's a possibility that it could be reinstalled. Number 3 is disabling telemetry and tracking services. Again, just lines of codes here that will do that. And then disable Windows data collection, disabling Cortana and background apps. So again, if you use Cortana, you don't want to remove it, simply just delete the line of code. So between each of the comments is the line of code. So for example, if I wanted to remove anything that has to do with displaying Cortana and background apps, just make sure you don't remove anything after the other one, line of code. Next is disabling background apps, and then disabling ads, the tips, the unwanted notifications and suggestions. Everything is pretty much here. And again, if you feel like you need to remove a line of code from here, you can do that just by deleting it and saving your script before you run it. And then the end of the script, it's restarting Explorer and then ending the script. This one is absolutely really not necessary, because it's best practice to restart your computer right after. And there's a message here that kind of tells you, hey, restart your computer for all the changes to take effect. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff will be handled without having to restart a computer. So I will show you guys that applications were removed, the edge being removed, and so forth. And at the very, very end here, it will just keep PowerShell open just to review any errors, any messages that you receive. And then you can just close it by clicking the X at the top of PowerShell. All right, so let's get started. So before I actually run the script, I'm going to show you how to save it. So I already have it saved, but I will save another one, and then we can go from there. So once you have this, you can paste this in Notepad. You don't have to have Notepad++. When you copy the script and then you paste it into your Notepad, save it as any name you'd like. So debloat Windows PC. And I'm just gonna call this final, since I already have one right here. And then at the end of the file name, you want to put PS1. And then choose a destination where you want to save it. So in my case, I'm just gonna keep it here, saved in the desktop. Click save, and your file will be saved as a PS1. Now I'll go ahead and close out of this. I'll delete this one since I already have the same script again. I just saved it as a different file. All right, so before we run the PowerShell script, guys, I want to cover two things. Again, if you want to make any changes to the script, all you have to do is right click on it, edit it with your Notepad, whether it's ++ or if you had just Notepad, and then you can make any final changes to the script and save it, and then you're good to go there. The next thing is, and in my case, this is the case where I can't run the scripts because I need to set the execution policy to allow me to run scripts, which I have not done on this computer yet. And to do that, what we will do is open PowerShell as an administrator. I'm putting in my password here. And then the line of code that you want to do is set execution policy bypass scope process force. And then when we hit enter, that should do the change. The other thing is, in my case, my local user account is not an admin. So when I do run things in the admin, it asks me for an admin password from my other account. So if you want to make the change for the local machine, then it's pretty much the same. And all we have to really change is, instead of process, we will put local machine, and then we're good to go. Now we should be able to run our script. So right click on it, run with PowerShell, and then we'll be asked for our password. And I'll maximize this and we can see the magic happen. Now, if you do receive any errors like this, the good thing about it is that our script will not close at the end. And then we can go back and review anything that needs reviewing. Now, our script is done because it restarted our file explorer. We can see everything here that we got errors for at the top. And I can already see that some of these packages that were not removed that we got errors for are those system stubborn applications. I will review this at a separate time just because I feel like it's going to take a lot of time in one video and figure out the best fix for it. It may work better for you. I am running this from a non-admin user account, so that could be another issue. But if we look at the bottom here, you can see that it actually took ownership of all of the Microsoft Edge folders, and it deleted all of those folders that it took ownership of. As you can see here, it didn't find anything under the program files because there's nothing under program files, which is not a problem. But it did block Edge reinstalling. It did everything else without any errors. The only errors that we received, of course, were just the ones that of those packages that were a little bit more stubborn. But that is pretty much it. All right, so what I will do now is restart my computer, and then we will check for those applications that were removed. We can see that Microsoft Edge has been removed, and then we will go from there. All right, guys, so I'm back from the computer restart. Now, there's a few things you kind of want to verify. There's one very last step that we want to do for Microsoft Edge, and I'll show you guys what that is. But let's go ahead and check our installed applications. So installed apps, and then we can look through our list of applications and just verify that the stuff that were in the script were removed. And the one thing I want to cover for Microsoft Edge is this right here. Now, we still see Microsoft Edge here, but it's technically not here. Search up Microsoft Edge, and as you can see, it is no longer an application that we have. If I click on it, it will tell us that the shortcut has been changed or removed and is no longer working properly. Do you want to delete this shortcut? We'll click yes. And we are asked for permission again because my account is not an admin account. So I'll click continue, plug in my password, hit enter, and that will remove Microsoft Edge from being displayed in my search. The next thing is if you wanted to remove it from here, open up File Explorer and then navigate to our C drive, and then under C drive, go to Program Files and then Microsoft. We'll see that there are some Edge folders here. So what I will do is delete all of them. And then once we delete them, if we open up Control Panel, go to Uninstall Program, and Microsoft Edge, click Change, Continue. That will tell us that there's an error occurred while trying to uninstall Microsoft Edge. It may have been already uninstalled. Would you like to remove it from Programs and Features list? And then we'll click Yes. And if we refresh, that will remove Microsoft Edge. As you can see, it's also removed from here. And that is how to completely remove it. Now, aside from that, if you guys have any questions, concerns, leave them in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one.